Hello. How's everybody doing? I'm waking up slow. Good morning. Sunday chat time. Woosah. My core is feeling sore. Waking up slow. Oh man, I didn't even make my coffee. Damn it, man. I never come on here prepared. And this time I forgot to make my coffee. I might do that here in a minute. I'm gonna need me some wakes me up stuff. Morning. What's your name? Ascension Code. Morning. Sup? How's everybody doing? I feel like I got run over by a train. I think I just slept really good in one position. You ever do that? One position and you're knocked, zonked, and then you wake up like, ow. That's how you know you're getting old. That's how you know you're getting old, dude. I tell you what, I have this one shoulder. And actually, my right shoulder is actually really bad. But this isn't my right shoulder, this is my left shoulder. I don't want to confuse you. When I was 19, I was in like a really bad wreck that almost killed me, a drunk driving wreck, and messed this shoulder up. But my left shoulder has been messed up for a couple of months. Like back in like December, I got wasted, and slept on it the wrong way. And it's still acting up. That's how you know you're getting old, dude. When I do like my dead hangs at the gym, I'm like, that shoulder's still hurting me, you know? I haven't drank in 2 months now, but yeah, I got wasted back in December and I slept on my shoulder the wrong way. I don't know if I was like sleeping like this or something, but it hurt it. And I don't know if I like messed my rotator cuff up or something or whatever. Anyway, anywho, I got me some tea, but I forgot to make coffee. Morning, y'all. So what's up with everybody? I should have thought of like some kind of topic to open this video up with. I used to do that back in the day. I used to do that. Back when I lived in Idaho, before Leah and I got together, I would chat every morning on this channel in my car. I would always think of something to open the video with. I would have like some sort of topic on my mind. And I don't do that anymore. Yeah, I'm pretty worthless without my coffee too. I've been coming to reality. I've been sleeping in a little bit later here lately. It's weird. I don't know. Energies are shifting. Like yesterday, I had like the most insane like energy download yesterday. The most insane. I had to lay down. I'm like, I gotta like meditate or something. Couldn't get any work done on my YouTube channel. The little bit of work that I did do, I had some technical issues, so I had to start redoing some readings that I had some issues with, technical issues as far as YouTube goes. And then I just started feeling funky, dude. It feels like there's some kind of retrograde going on, you know? And then somebody in the comments section said that. And I was like, yes, I've been feeling that way for days now. Like there's some kind of like retrograde. It feels like a Mercury retrograde to me. That's what it feels like. But I know we looked and then apparently that's not coming up for like another month. So I'm like, damn, what is going on in the skies, y'all? You feel it? Anybody else feel it? I'm noticing it in other people for about the past week or so. I just assumed that it was Aries season because everybody's getting really, like, you just look out in public. People are like getting real impatient and shitty and mean attitudes and stuff. And you know what I mean? And it's just like people are driving erratically and even myself, even me, I find myself getting kind of impatient and snappy and like, you know, I getting irritated easy, you know. I don't know. But yesterday, dude, it just smacked me like a ton of bricks and I had to lay down and I put some sound waves in my ear, you know, the brain waves or whatever. And man, I had the craziest meditation. And I'm seeing like images. And I don't mean just like faint images in my mind. I'm seeing like flash images, big flashes of light, like it's right in front of my face. Like somebody just stuck a light bulb, bing, and flashed this light in front of my face, you know? Crazy. I'm like, whoa, dude. I don't even know how to explain it. I don't even know how to explain it, but I just laid there, not even asleep, in a meditative state, which is half awake and half asleep, you know, in and out, and just laid there like consciously aware, like, what the hell is going on with me, you know? Scared me, dude. Woo. Got them energetic shifts going on. It's like, sometimes it's not comfortable, you know? Sometimes it's fun, you know, because you can feel the vibration shifting of the planet and whatnot. And I'm just trying to figure out what that's been the past week or so. In me and in everybody that I've observed, you know? And yesterday, it just kicked me in the butt yesterday. Kicked me in the butt. And my thing is this scares me sometimes, man. Scares me sometimes. I mean, I'm very familiar with making quantum leaps in vibration, you know? It's not always a fun process, especially if you jump timelines as fast as I have, you know? It can be scary as hell. But usually you have something to point to. You can look at things that are going on in your life and kind of follow. And I haven't been able to here lately. It's just a straight feeling of like a different energy hitting me, you know? I don't know how to explain it, man. It sounds stupid when I try to explain it, but I don't know. I don't know. Getting old, I guess. Oh, brown sugar with oatmeal. That's a random comment. That sounds good, though. That sounds good. Sounds yummy, yummy. Time shifting monks? What? Y'all got some interesting comments this morning, don't you? I need to make my coffee. I needs to make my coffee. All right, y'all gonna join me on my coffee making session. Do 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 do. Okay. All right. I'm gonna do Cinnabon. This one's pretty good. I got me a little lockbox for my gold and silver. Yeah. This could take a minute. Bear with me. This is one of the coolest things that Leah ever got me as a present is this Keurig. Now it is, actually we haven't even used the regular coffee maker since I got this. Come on, hurry up. Haven't even used the regular coffee maker. We all come up here and use this now. I think I put a little bit of Splenda in it this time, not just straight black. Yeah, this is my other savings account right here. Tee. I'll buy gold and silver and put it in there. This is one of my bank accounts. There we go. It's going. Now we're in business. Now we're in business. Okay. All right. Now we're in business. So what's everybody up to this morning? Let me wake up a little. Let me wake up a little bit. Hang on. Oh yes, that hit the spot so hard the spot hit back. Oh man, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, crazy energetic shifts and downloads. Yes, that's what I've been dealing with this past week. Does anybody know what's been going on in the skies? Anybody have a clue? Anybody have a clue? Maybe it's just new solar flares. I don't know. Something's been going on. I would say it's just me. Oh man, I'm gonna be a busy boy. Ooh, another payment just came in. All right, I gotta get woke up because I woke up to like 4 payments that came in and a new one just came in. So I'm gonna be a busy boy today. I'm gonna be a busy boy. Man, when universe needs you to work, universe will put you to work, dude. Mm-hmm. Where do I buy gold and silver? The Bullion Buy Post. BullionBuyPost.com. Pretty cool. It's in England. It's based in England. So I got, well, so far I have a 1 ounce silver coin. I just wanted to check it out first. So I bought some small things. You know, I got a 1 ounce silver coin. It's got the queen on it. And I got a little 1 gram silver bar. And then I just ordered a 100 gram silver bar the other day. And probably today or tomorrow, I'm going to order, I forget how much it is, but it's a $500 chunk of gold. I forget how much it is. It's 10 grams, I want to say. 5 grams. I don't know. I don't know the weights. I need to study and learn more about that. But yeah, I just like to have a little of that on hand, you know. Start making some of these moves. My intuition, I just follow my intuition on little things to do, and I kept having gold and silver being thrown in my face, you know. So that's all I'm gonna say about that right now. Anywho, what I was saying was I would say it was just me, but I've been observing erratic behavior in everybody over the past week or so. So I know it's not just me. A lot of arguments popping off in random places out in public. You'll see people getting into fights and stuff, and people driving erratically and driving crazy. A lot of wrecks, a lot more wrecks, you know? So I'm like, man, I know it's not just me. I wouldn't even say anything, but I'm seeing it in everybody else, you know? Whatever. It's Aries season, and somebody just a minute ago said new moon. It's an odd feeling. Okay. Y'all feel it too then? Okay. Cool. Neato. Today I feel pretty level though. So far. So haven't seen any of that. Oh, well, that's good. Of course, I live in Vegas too, so we went out on a date night last night. Went and saw a comedy show. I'd never seen a stand-up comedy show before. It was interesting. The jokesters, you know? It was interesting, and all the comics were hitting on Leah. They were making a show about her. It was funny, because she got dressed up all nice and pretty. So they kept pointing over to Leah, hitting on her, and it was funny. It was hilarious. It was funny. I'd never seen a stand-up comedy show before. It was very interesting. A couple of them were hilarious. Very funny. We needed that. Went out to a nice steakhouse to eat. hadn't had a date night in forever because our babysitter that we usually use had a baby. And now she just hit us up about a week ago and she said, "Hey, I don't work for the agency anymore because I had a baby, but you all are one of the top 3 families that I actually liked babysitting for. So just let me know if you ever need a day." And she says, "Yeah, we haven't had just a date night just for us in a long time, a couple of months. It's been a minute." So, friends that do comedy, man, when I was a kid, I always thought I wanted to do that for a living. I used to love stand-up comedy. Like I'd watch it on YouTube, when I was a kid, or well, when I was in my early 20s. I used to love it. I used to love it. I don't know if I could do that though. I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could do that. It just doesn't look like a very fun job. Like the last guy, actually, he was like the main headliner. He wasn't really all that funny, and he like was making it really awkward because if he would tell a joke that nobody would laugh at, you could tell he would get all nervous and start acting weird, which just like he was not vibing with the audience. Everybody else was, and the last dude wasn't, and you could feel his frustration and like that he would just perpetuate his own not making the audience laugh, and he would just like manifest it even harder whenever he would like point it out and reveal his weakness, and I don't know, I felt bad for him. But I mean, supposedly they paint these people up to like there's this one guy, actually the host of the show, who came out and he apparently played on a couple of movies, and he's like, "Yeah, I've played on The Hangover. I've been playing in commercials my whole life." He looked kind of familiar. I just couldn't really put a face to him. But and then apparently the last guy, he's like, "Oh, he's in commercials and plays in movies and this and that," and I didn't recognize him. I don't know who he is, but I don't know. I just felt bad for him. He came out and the first 3 people set the rhythm. When people are doing comedy, they do it in a certain rhythm. They talk in a certain rhythm. They hit their jokes in a certain rhythm. And then this dude came out going like a million miles an hour and threw the rhythm all off. He's like a slapstick comedian. I'm not real big on slapstick comedy. Not really. I'm much bigger on intelligent, witty humor. Like if you can tell a smart, intelligent joke, that's what I like. I don't like stupid humor. I'm not big on stupid humor. Like, and I hate to, I don't like Will Ferrell, for example. I'm not really big on talking bad about people publicly. I mean, he's played in a couple of movies where he's a good actor. I just don't like his comedy. That type of comedy, retarded, stupid comedy where you're acting like an idiot. I don't laugh at that. That's not funny to me, Acting stupid is not funny. It's not funny at all. And that's not really what this guy, but it was much more like physical slapstick, acting stupid comedy, and I don't like that. That's not funny. Just me, though. That's just me. I like intelligent, witty humor. Boop, 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 boop. But we had a fun night last night. Had a fun old night. Didn't even stay out too late. Because like I said, I haven't drank in 2 months. And I didn't make this solid decision to quit drinking. That was the funny thing about it, I didn't say, "Okay, I'm not drinking anymore." I just stopped and didn't really put any thought into it. And then before I knew it, it'd been like, "Oh man, I haven't had a drink in almost a month." It had been 3 weeks, where I wouldn't drink every single day, but pretty regularly, at least every other day, or at least definitely every weekend or every time we went out, And then once I felt like, "Oh man, I'm 3 weeks, almost a month into not having a drink. I'm just gonna keep it going, And I thought, okay, well, I'm just gonna see how long I can go without a drink. And it's strange. It's a little bit weird to be able to go out on the town in Vegas and not have a drink, especially for somebody like me, a big time former addict alcoholic, So didn't have no drink. Leah had a glass of wine or something like that, and I didn't. I just had me a Diet Coke. I had iced tea with the steak. And that's the first thing they do is they bring you a wine menu and a cocktail menu, I was like, nah, I'll have me a water, iced tea, you know. And it's cool because, like, if I would have started drinking like last night, especially during a comedy show, I'm the type of person, I'm not a social drinker. You know, if I was to order a drink, I'd be like, yeah, let me get I mean, I would just start the night off with like 6 beers, pound, bam, 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 bam. I'm that kind, you know, I'm that type. I'm that type. Real addictive personality. I go to the extreme. I don't just have a little beer. Let's just sip on a beer, you know. I've never been like that. Never been like that. You know, let me go get a tall boy from the gas station before I go out. Pow, 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 pound that, you know. Then we get to where we're at. Let me get a 40. Pow, 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 pound that. Then I'm warmed up. I just got warmed up for the night, you know. Yeah, I've always been that type. Runs in the family, you know. Runs in the family. So, yep. Oh, same way. Yeah. Just got in at 5 a.m. Oh, yeah. I don't miss those good old days, man. I don't miss that. But it's cool because I didn't make, and the last time I got sober was a year, like exactly a year before I started reading tarot on YouTube. I spent the whole year before that sober, not doing nothing, you know? And similar, I can tell this feels just like then because I didn't set like a sobriety date. I didn't say, oh, I'm gonna stop drinking. And I didn't constantly think, okay, I can't drink. All right, I'm done drinking. Okay, can't drink today. Don't drink today. I'm done drinking. I'm done drinking. All right, can't drink. I just didn't do that. It just poof. I'm like, I got bigger things to worry about. I'm gonna manifest my own business. That was what I said to myself. Time for me, you know, because I had been playing around with manifestation for a couple of years at that point, and at that point, I'd gotten really bad at that point, like really bad, and I'd gotten to the point where I was physically dependent on drinking. I would like withdraw without it, you know, like shaking and puking, and I got real bad. So I was like, man, I'm never going to be able to be successful if I'm like this, you know? So I said, all right. And I was focused all of my energy on attending mind mastery school, doing research on how to build a business. My next big move, I dedicated my life to manifesting self-employment and being self-employed. And like I've told many of you, I had no idea that the universe was going to give me a deck of tarot cards and that that's what it was going to be. I had no clue. But anyway, and what I was saying though was that this feels a lot like that. I can tell because I didn't make a decision to like, okay, I got to stop drinking. Okay, you know, I just woke up one day and realized, man, I haven't had a drink in like 3 weeks. Something like that. I think I'm going to keep this going, you know? And I just don't think about it. Doesn't sound good. Doesn't sound good. So I can definitely tell it's spirit guided. You know, doesn't sound good. Doesn't sound tempting. You know, it's one thing if it sounds tempting and you're forcing yourself to not do it. You know, but it's another thing if it doesn't even sound good, dude. Oh, if I get real stressed out or YouTube's irritating me or something, you know, or my kids are driving me crazy or whatever. If I'm having like a stressful day, that's usually the time that that I would think, man, let me go to the store real quick, and grab me a fucking 12 pack of beer, you know. Doesn't even sound good. It just it makes my stomach turn just thinking about it, you know. And then the hangover the next day. I never used to get hangovers, dude. When I was in my 20s, I could drink, boy. When I was homeless, when I lived under a bridge, I drank a gallon of vodka a day, and that was like my bare minimum that I would like to drink. Me and my friends, we would just keep drinking and drinking and drinking and drinking until it was just too late and it was time to go to bed, you know? And it was usually between me and my 3 drinking buddies. It was 4 of us. Everybody else that was on the streets were all drug addicts, you know? And I haven't really been big on anything like that since I was 25, 24, 25. I was real big on like pharmaceuticals and doing drugs and shit like that. And then I just kind of quit and started drinking when I was in my mid 20s. No reason in particular other than it was just getting too expensive. I was married at the time and my kids were babies. and I was the only one working to pay bills. I just simply couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford it, you know? So I just said, man, I cannot afford working my day job, you know, taking care, paying the bills, diapers, formula, you know, all that stuff. I can't afford all that on my own and have a drug habit. So I just started saying, you know what, I'm just gonna start drinking because it's cheap and it's legal. So anyway, by the time I was homeless on the streets, I wasn't in the crowd that did like heroin and smoked crack and all that stuff. I didn't hang with them. I was one of the drunks. There was only 4 of us that drank, you know, and we would go through together about 4 half gallons in a day. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the cheap shit, the cheap rock gut shit, Heaven Hill, you know. Whoo, man. Oh, ooh. I don't remember where I was going with that, but I was making a point. I forgot what it was. Let's get some more Wake Me Up juice. Anyway, though. Ah, the good old days. A trip down memory lane. That hard hitter. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't even remember. I was making a point and I brain farted. I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, anyway, all in all, I had a real good time last night. Real good time. Why the vape? Why not? I don't know. No particular reason. I digs it. No particular reason. I like it. Tastes good. Got a little bit of nicotine in it. A little bit. I digs it. Got some nice mixed berry vape juice. Everybody always thinks I got weed in this thing. No. No, that's one thing I definitely don't do is smoke weed. Nope. Everybody's like, oh man, you know, what kind of dabs or whatever weed shit you doing? Nah, I don't digs weed, man. That's one thing I've never really liked. Never really liked weed. I don't have anything against it. Matter of fact, I wish I liked it. I wish I liked it. It's totally 100% legal here in Vegas. You know, I wish I liked it. It does not do anything good to my head, man. I'm envious of those people who can smoke weed when they're stressed out and that calm them down. I'm envious of those people. I wish I could do that. Boy, it makes my anxiety so much worse. The feeling that it gives me is it's like my soul is completely like hyper aware that it's stuck in a human body in a dimension it doesn't belong in, you know? Like I'm hyper aware of that. And I'm in the wrong place. I don't belong on this planet. I hate it, dude. Oh, I hate it. Can't stand it. You know, and the funny thing is, see, I was a real fucking buck wild, crazy drug addict when I was a teenager. You know, I didn't care. I would do anything. And I wish I was exaggerating, but I wasn't. If you could tell me that I get high crumbling up a dry dog turd and smoking it, and I'd probably try it. You know, when I was a teenager, I was fucking buck wild, man. And I smoked a lot then. But what made me realize that I don't like weed was when I got my first job as a guitarist in a band. You know, I ended up getting a little band, and it was just a little local cover band. We'd go around playing gigs at places in Louisville, you know. And that's when I realized I didn't like it. The first time I got high and played on stage in front of a crowd, oh, I didn't like it. Oh, man, I didn't like it. Oh, I hated it, dude. And I was like, you know what? This light bulb flicked on in my head. I was like, I've never liked this. And I hadn't. I never enjoyed it. I was like, the only reason why I'm doing this is because everybody else is doing it. I'm not doing this no more. Fuck that. When I had that Ace of Swords moment and I realized I've never liked this, and I really genuinely didn't. I was just doing it because everybody else was doing it. I stopped at that point, you know. I stopped at that point. I'm not doing it if I don't really like it, you know. So, you know what I mean? Can make anxiety worse, yeah. Yeah, it always does. It makes me, hang on. Depends on who you're around. See, there's always, somebody always says something like that. Oh, well, sometimes, depending on what you smoke or who you're around or what kind of situation you're in. And that's when I'm like, nah, see, I don't like taking that chance. It's like rolling the dice, you know? I don't need to roll the dice. If I'm gonna do something that the number one prime objective in doing this thing is to put my mind in a different state, take away my anxiety or whatever the case may be. I don't want to have to like roll the dice and wonder, well, okay, if I smoke this, am I gonna fucking have a panic attack and freak out? It's not worth it. Not only that, but the shit tastes disgusting and it stinks. I hate the smell of it. Oh, I hate the smell of it. For the longest time, I just don't believe when people say they love the smell of it. I didn't for the longest time because this shit stinks, dude. I'm sorry, that shit smells like straight ass. I don't like the smell of weed. Everybody be like, "Oh, it smells good." I'm like, man, no, it don't. I don't know. There was a part of me, and now I don't really think that way anymore. But for the longest time, I just thought that people would say that because they think they're supposed to. They think it sounds good. I don't know. I don't really care anymore, but I don't like the smell of it. Don't like the taste of it. Definitely don't like what it does to my head. I can't stand it. Don't like it at all. You know. But I wish I did, man. I wish I did. I could just go to the store and buy me some. Take a little smoke whenever if I'm having a nervous, stressful day. It'd be so nice to just be able to go to the weed store and get me a bag of weed and smoke and relax. I wish, dude. I'm envious of people who can relieve their anxiety with it. And it always scared me for the longest time. It's like, man, because they say there's all this medicinal purposes for it. They say, I don't know. I'm sure it probably does, the fucking plant. But I would always get scared, like, what if I end up like getting cancer or getting some shit. But this was before I was aware of how to heal myself, with my mind. But I would always like, what if I get like cancer or something like that? Or what if I get like in marijuana, it's like, what if I get like a turn scare me? Oh my God, because I wouldn't want to get high. Is there any way they can take the THC out of it? You know? You know what I mean? That used to freak me out back in the day, but not anymore. Because I'm not afraid of illness anymore. Not afraid of it. Never since I completely started rejecting fear of illness over the past year and a half, if you know what I mean. Haven't been sick. Haven't developed any type of illness, knock on wood. If I do develop anything weird inside of me that I'm questioning, I'm fully prepared to be able to go inside vibrationally and figure out how and why I manifested it for myself and undo it. That's the day and age we're moving into. And I'm 100% on board with that. I dedicated my life to learning how to manifest things of my choosing. And part of that, the biggest part of that process, this is where a lot of people get hung up, is I have to figure out how and why I manifested things I don't want. That's the part nobody wants to do when it comes to manifestation. Oh yeah, it's all good and well to think about how to manifest the things that I do want, but then they don't want to turn around and admit that they've manifested the things that they don't want. People get real defensive and real, and that's part of it. And I hate to bust anybody's bubble, but that's a big part of it. If I want to manifest things that I do want, I have to. I absolutely have to figure out how I've manifested the things that I don't want. I have to. Period. There is no way around that. Anyway. Nope. Ain't no THC in my vape. It's mixed berry with a little nicotine in it. Yep, just a little bit. Oh, this is comfy. There we go. Lounge time. About to go back to bed, y'all. No, I'm just playing. No, just playing. I got me a reading up there. I got several hours before it's due. I can wake up and get in a good mental position. I like to be in a real good mental state before I start doing my work. Real good mental state. Got me a new computer too. So I like that. A much nicer laptop. Much nicer. When I had that little Duty Beam laptop, and like I said, I don't even know why I never do that. That's not in my character to just get something little and cheap, especially something for my business. I've never done that before. I guess I underestimated, I just underestimated how a piece of shitty equipment can mess things up, I have a real nice webcam. That webcam is super nice. I wanted to try to find the most expensive one possible just because, that's the main reason why I would always get, like a phone. They had the best camera on it because I wanted as good of a camera as possible because I use it for my business. But now that I'm not working on my phone, I wanted the nicest webcam I could find. And I don't know. I think there's got to be something better than that out there. But it was like a $300 webcam. But I figured, man, there's got to be a better, more top of the line webcam than that. Eventually, I wanna upgrade to something like professional. I want to upgrade to like a real good, high quality camera eventually. Haven't done a tarot card reading in forever. Right on. Yep, I do it for a living, and I got to make sure I'm in a good mental space. I got to make sure I'm in a good mental space. If I'm not in a good mental state, I would rather, and this has happened like once. I can count the number of times that I've done this. But if I'm not in the right vibe to do a reading, I would much rather refund you some money, for being late than hurry up and get your reading done and not be in 100% tip-top shape, I would rather. And I'm going to be a busy boy today, man. I'm going to be a busy boy today. The universe puts you to work. The universe puts you to work. I've thought so many times, and I'm not going to lie, I'm going to be 100% honest. There's been many, many times I've thought, you know what, I want to quit doing personal readings. I want to quit. And every time I start trying to take action in that direction, universe, nope. Universe, and it's kind of complicated, but universe will be like, nope, you ain't getting out of this. You got a mission. There's things that you have to say that people need to hear. I'm like, man, dude. So, okay, all right, universe. That's my calling. I told you, by the time, the most frustrating thing about it sometimes is that by the time I reached the point where I was in the position and had manifested the position where I'm able to teach and explain all these things, I don't want to explain it anymore, I know I've touched on this in a couple other videos, but I got to the point where I was just done explaining it and done explaining myself and how to do these things. And then I get put in a position where I'm required to, and relighting that fire took me close to a year, relighting the fire of being passionate about it, explaining, all these things and the laws of energy and stuff like that. Because once I learned it factually and learned the science behind how it works, and started applying it to my life and stuff like that, it's just kind of like, man, I don't even really, this was my mental state at the time. I was like, I'm at a point where so many people are like not wanting to hear it that I don't care, And then the universe is like, nope, this is what you're going to do. I drug your ass down that path for a reason. This is what you're going to do, So every time I think the last time I tried this was about a month ago, 2 months ago, maybe, where I tried to start setting things up and taking action towards not doing personal readings, and shifting away from that. And universe is like, nope, I will jam a stick in the wheel and slow everything down for you. Make things start happening in your life I'll fuck everything up for you if you don't want to do your job, And I'm like, okay, I see what my calling is. I see what my job is, because I do a lot more. 95 to 98% of the people that come to me for a personal reading, it's much, 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 much more than a tarot card reading, And I tell most of the people, if you've come to me for a reading, that I never set out to be a tarot card reader. Never set out to do that at all. I dedicated my life to learning the laws of energy, you know, to learning the actual laws of energy. And in doing that, like I say, I did end up attending a very high level mind mastery school, um, founded and taught by a former NASA scientist. And on my journey, I've learned from, worked with, and personally met people who have been in very high positions and associated with people who have been in the highest positions in the world, in the world. And I do mean in the world. And I learned some things along the way. I've learned lots of suppressed knowledge. I've learned lots of ancient secrets, not secrets anymore, but it's definitely suppressed knowledge. It's not forbidden knowledge anymore. It used to be, but you got to dig. It's not mainstream. It will be soon. It will be soon. It'll eventually, we're getting to a point in time where it will be mainstream. The science of manifestation. Like a lot of people don't believe this, but there is a very cold, hard science behind how manifestation works. There is. They have the technology and the instruments to prove it. Yes, they do. And I've seen it. So when it came time for me to manifest my own business, universe said, all right, gave me a deck of tarot cards. I was like, oh, damn. So what I use tarot cards for is much like what a mechanic uses his diagnostic tool for. I know I told a lot of you this before, but very rarely, I'll have to feel your energy when I'm reading for you, but very rarely do I just give you the traditional, this is your default timeline. That's what most readers do. They read your default timeline, It's all good and well. That's no disrespect to anybody. That's cool. Your default timeline, like what's going to happen, But I dedicated my life to learning how to get off my default timeline and pull forth timelines of my choosing. And I dedicated my whole fucking life to that. And then I was introduced to the tarot, So I step into the tarot community different. I'm very, very different than a lot of the other people. And that's the main reason why. And I held that back for a long time, It took a while before I was put in certain positions to where I had to change directions, And yeah, so anyway, long story short, when you come to me for a reading, there's a very, very, very good chance, that I will teach you, if you want, how to get off this timeline that I'm reading for you, Because it's like if you go to a mechanic, and say, man, what's wrong with my car? It's sputtering at stoplights and whatnot, and it's just some mornings it won't start, and he plugs his diagnostic tool up to it. That's like, I'm pulling you a spread. Oh, okay, I see what's happening. You need a new spark plug in cylinder 4, you need a new ignition coil in cylinder 6, your map sensor's going out. That's what, when I pull my tarot cards, it's like, oh, okay, this is the energy that brought the two of you together. This is the energy that was created, and this is the frequency you're vibrating at right now. This is the frequency they're vibrating at right now. So here's where you all are energetically, And then what? Most mechanics, they say, okay, well, let's fix this. And that's what I do. I say, okay, well, if you want to fix this, here's what you do. And that's what I do for personal readings. If you would like to fix this default timeline, this is why you've been experiencing this cycle right here. And based on, that vibration, if you just travel down your default timelines and you don't make any changes to your energy at all, these are the things that are more than likely going to unfold for you. But if you don't want to experience that, here is how the laws of energy really behave. And this is what you really need to be focusing on or not focusing on, That's the funny thing about it. A lot of people, that's a very common question. What do I need to be focused on, And it would blow your mind how often, it's not what you need to be focusing on, it's what you need to remove your focus from. Not every single time, but a very large number of time. That's the problem. It's not what you need to be focusing on, it's what you need to stop focusing on. Oh yeah. That's the functionality of it, you know? So anyway, don't remember where I was going with that either, but it's a very interesting job, man. Very interesting. And just like any other job, it can get stressful. It can get annoying. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. It can be irritating, you know. The good news is though, is I have like 90 to 95% cool customers, you know, 90 to 95%. There's a couple of them every now and then. I dealt with one a couple of weeks ago that had a nasty attitude, you know, and I'm not McDonald's, you know what I mean? Just to let it be known. That's one thing that, like, if there's any negativity that I respond to, and I'm not saying this is okay, I'm still working on this. I ignore haters, I ignore trolls. I don't even give them the time of day. But the only type of negativity that I'm still having trouble, like I'm still working on myself, is when customers think that just because they've thrown money at me, they can talk to me however they want. This ain't fucking McDonald's. No. You can take your money back, go to the ATM, withdraw it, roll it up, and fuck yourself with it. You know what I mean? Like, you don't talk to me however you want just because you put money in my PayPal account. I don't need your fucking money, you know? So, but that's very, very rare. Very fucking rare. I can count on like one hand the number of times that's happened in my whole career, you know? So the good news is that is a very positive thing, you know? But it can, other than that though, just in general, you know, it can be frustrating just like any other job. You know, it can be frustrating. You know, there's days where I'm like, dude, I don't even want to look at tarot cards. I don't even want to sit down in front of the camera. Just like any other job, dude. Just like any other job. But it is very interesting. Very, you know, and I know I've talked about this on other chats, you know, but it's just funny looking back. And it's just so, I can see it so crystal clear now that this right here is the reason why nothing else ever worked out for me, you know? Because I can look back at some jobs I've worked in the past, like that I've really dedicated my energy to, you know? And like really, really, really. I remember one of the last, not the last day job I had, but like one before that, I really dedicated my energy to it. And I was trying to move up, and I wanted to, you know, move up as high as I could into management and all this stuff. And it's just like, man, what is going on? And of course I didn't know anything about the behavior of energy at that point, you know, didn't know anything about how I was reverse manifesting, but that was my mindset. I'm like, what is going on, dude? You know, why is it that the harder I try, it's like the more universe is fighting against me, you know, the more universe is fighting against me. And now it's plain clear as day. It's like, oh, I'm glad I didn't end up getting stuck at that job. I'm glad I didn't end up moving up. You know what I mean? So, very amazing time to be alive, I would say. But don't get it twisted. I know that on this channel, I probably get not a whole lot, but maybe about 1,000 people will watch this video. And I know at least one of you is going to end up, universe is going to put your ass to work, you know, big time. At least one of you, hopefully more, but no less than one of you. Maybe 10 of you, 15, 100 of you, I don't know. Universe is going to put your ass to work. Universe is going to use you, and you'll see in the day and age that we're in right now. if you're part of the group that's here assisting in the shift of consciousness into the new world that we're moving into, the universe is going to put your ass to work, boy. I'm going to tell you what, the universe is going to put your ass to work. And it's a great honor, though. I will say that. It is a great honor. Whew, it can be stressful, though. I'm not going to lie. It can be stressful and irritating. But But we're all headed in a very positive direction, though. That I can assure you. That I can assure you. You know, all headed in a very positive direction. Just a passenger in the back seat. Yep, yep, that's what's up. Yep. And it's pretty cool when we reach that point to where we're able to just take your hands off the wheel. Even if I'm in the driver's seat, I'm gonna take my hands off the wheel. That's scary at first, you know. It's scary when we very first, and I love it. Everyday Masters is who I heard this from. He in one of his videos. He was a big inspiration to me, you know, and helping me on my path. But he said in one of his videos, we want to take our hands off the wheel and just let universe take the wheel. But then the minute the vehicle starts drifting off, oh shit, we want to get it. No, 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 no. That's the way you're supposed to go. Universe wants you to go that way, you know? And when you finally develop that relationship with the universe to where you're able to just take your hands off the wheel and be like, okay, cool. I know that no matter what, even if something scary and bad happens today, that's cool. I know for a fact it's part of a bigger plan. And whenever you get to the point to where you're able to let those things unfold, things that seem scary or seem bad or whatnot, knowing that there's a bigger plan, because before we get to that point, we want to take control, you know. But when you're able to do that, and you're able to see that universe has a bigger plan for you, and universe is just taking you and putting you up to the next level, it's so relieving. Because whenever we want to control it, when we want to try to get in and take control of everything and make it happen the way we want, then that's what screws things up, you know. People will tell you stories about it, you know. Oh no, I can't just let this happen. The last time I did that, this happened. I know something bad happened because you tried to control the situation, you know. If it's out of your control, it's part of the plan. I'm not saying just surrender and throw your hands in the air and give up and just let whatever. I'm not saying do that. I'm saying that on your path, you need to figure out the line between putting forth work and effort and forcing and fighting a losing battle, you know? Mm-hmm. And it happens to all of us. Happens to me. I got to check myself on a daily basis, you know? Like, especially in regards to my job. Leah has to call it out sometimes, you know, and be like, yo, I think universe is telling you to stop. And, you know, I have to have her check me sometimes, you know. That happened to us just a couple days ago. She's like, yo, maybe you should just stop. I think universe is trying to tell you to stop because I'm trying to kick this door in, you know. I'm trying to get something done that keeps wanting to work against me, you know. I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. Okay. Okay, universe, you do your thing, you know. Or source, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it. I'm trying to get into the habit of calling it source, you know. Doesn't really matter what you call it. Doesn't matter if you call it source, universe, God, goddess. It doesn't matter. You can call it whatever you want. I prefer, well, I like calling it source because it's just easier to say, you know, and it doesn't really come along with very many connotations attached to it, you know. I don't like to use the word God because that paints the picture of a man in your mind. And I don't like to use the word goddess because that paints the picture of a woman in your mind. It's not a man or a woman. It's neither one. It's, you know, both masculine and feminine all wrapped up and everything in between. So, you know, I don't like to, and also too, not only that, but sometimes we can, and this, hey, this is another big thing about reverse manifestation. Before I wrap this video up, this chat, we tend to treat the source and speak to it as if it's out here, you know. That will reverse manifest real quick when we talk to the source and whatnot as if it's out here outside of us somewhere, you know. There's a lot of things outside of us, a lot of things, but the actual source of all creation is not one of those things. The source is an inner dimension that consciousness emerges out of. Yep. Sometimes that can be a little bit hard to wrap the mind around. And I always say this. A lot of you probably heard me say this. But go out and find a tree and explain to me where it came from. Mm-hmm. Just find a plant. Find a plant. That's the best way to really, to me, in my personal opinion, to really, really paint the picture in my mind of where the source is. Go find a plant and explain to me where it came from. You ever watched a plant grow? You ever watched a tree grow? Where's wood come from? Where's it come from? Where does it come from? Think about it. That tree, I showed you all this a couple weeks ago, the tree in my front yard. Man, that son of a bitch is huge. 50, 60 feet tall. That thing is enormous. I got a gigantic pine tree in my front yard. Where did it come from? Where did all that wood come from? Think about it. It emerged out of the inner dimension that is the source of all creation. So we got to pay real close attention to what we're saying because we're plugged into the same thing. So about 32 years ago, I was about yay big. Where'd the rest of me come from? Think about it. Think about it. So that means we're all emerging out of the same source. We're all plugged directly into the same source. I'm plugged into it. You're plugged into it. My tree is plugged into it. My cats are plugged into it. You know? So what am I really saying to that source? What am I really saying to it? Especially the things that I don't say out loud. You know, we think that if we don't say it out loud, then and nobody consciously knows about it, then the source, no. Think about it. There's a reason why. There's a reason why the source knows you inside and out, because you're blooming out of it. You're blooming out of it. The same way the trees are blooming out of the source. Same way the tree pops out of a seed. You're doing the same thing. We all did the same thing. Yup. So that's why I am is so important. That's why matching the frequency is so important. You know, that's why what you believe about yourself will manifest in your outside world. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense until you think about it that way. Think about that. Let it simmer on the back burner for a little bit, you know. Think about it. What you believe about yourself is what you experience. That's because that's where the source is. You're blooming out of it. So we're all blooming out of the exact same source. That's what they mean when they say the universe is inside of you. The universe is in here. That's what it means. That's what they're talking about. When they say we're all connected, that's what they're talking about. You ever played a virtual reality game? You ever put a VR mask on? Like one of the realistic ones? Think about it. Think about it. I know at least one of you is going to be half asleep tonight, you know, about to doze off, and then, oh, that makes sense, you know. There's others of you that it makes sense. And some of you already know this. I'm not saying that you don't know this, but one of the things that I did, I made it a real strong point on my path, was I started taking notes on things that I saw that when we're on the awakening path and on an awakening journey, real popular places where we get hung up, you know. And I would just observe people, and I would say, man, I see lots of people, myself included. I'm no better than you, myself included, where I notice we're all getting hung up in this one spot, you know, on this one spiritual concept or the understanding of this one thing. And then I would just take mental notes of seeing myself. Like I said, I'll say it till my face turns blue. I'm no better than you, you know. But the places where most of us get hung up on the spiritual path, and that's one of them. That's one of them, is where is the source? You know, what does it mean when we say we're all connected? And how do I really communicate with the source? Knowing where it is and being able to understand, fully comprehend where the source is, will really, really, really. And I forget who I heard that from. I forget where, Eben Alexander. Eben Alexander, that's who, and he wasn't even making a real strong point. It was just, if you've ever listened to him, he's the neurosurgeon that had the NDE and was able to sit and like break it down and scientifically prove basically, well, this is what we say, you know, that we think we know about the brain as far as conventional conventional reductive materialist science, you know? And I know for a fact it's bullshit because of what I experienced. Anyway, during one of his like seminars or whatever, he said something to the effect of the source and consciousness and whatnot is this basically this inner source that everything is emerging out of. And when he said that, it didn't click right away. It wasn't until like several days later that kept rolling in the back of my mind. And I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense to me. That's why we have to say, I am, you know? That's why you don't want to like say, dear God, I need money. You know, that doesn't work. Because source will say, you're absolutely right. You need money. Your wish is my command. You know? Oh, yeah. I don't want to be alone for the rest of my life. I don't like being alone. Well, universe here's, I don't like being around Rich. He's not very fun to be around. Rich is not a very pleasant person to be around, is what I'm saying to the source. And if I'm proclaiming to the source that I'm so unpleasant to be around, that I don't want to be around myself for a very long period of time, they're not going to send me somebody who does, you know? So I was like, whoa, cool. So I know at least one person needed to hear that. At least one. And as long as one person heard that and understood it, and it made sense, my job is done. You know, if I can just help. I can't awaken you, you know. I can't wake you up. People say, oh, I want to wake people up. You can't wake nobody up. You can't do that. First of all, if they're not willing to hear your message, which there's plenty of people that aren't, if you're not willing to learn it, see, here's an analogy. This may be kind of weird, but let's just say, for example, there's a treasure chest full of gold and it's hidden somewhere on the planet, you know, and not very many people know about it. Not very many people know about it. Some people do, some people don't. You can't go up to somebody who's never even heard of this and doesn't even believe in it. There's some people that don't even believe that that treasure chest full of gold is buried out there. You can't go up and like force somebody to go find it, you know, if they're not even looking for it. That makes sense? I can't go up to somebody who's completely oblivious and unaware that there's this treasure chest full of gold buried somewhere on the planet and tell them, dude, it's over there. It's over there, you know? They're like, what are you talking about? If they're not looking for it, if they don't even care to find it, you're not going to be able to convince somebody to go dig for the, you know, does that make sense? Kind of a strange, silly analogy, but it's the same thing with awakening, you know? If you don't want to hear it, I can't make you wake up. I can't make you, you know? So, but for those who are in search of a deeper understanding, I make it a very strong point to be able to explain it and break it down in a way that hopefully anybody who's looking for it can link up to and understand, you know? You know what I mean, Vern? You dig what I'm saying, Vern? Anyway, though, y'all, it's about time for me to get out of here. Man, once my coffee kicked in, that chat went by fast, didn't it? But it's time to cook breakfast for the kiddos and myself. I'm getting kind of hungry. And, man, a bunch of payments came in. So I don't know if y'all see me publicly today. You may. I'm going to do the best that I can to get as much work done as possible, like 10, 15 videos or something like that. Leah's still in bed. But anyway, I hope to be public on my main channel today. Hopefully, that's the goal. But if not, I'll see y'all definitely Monday, all right? Y'all have a good rest of your weekend.